Hello students, welcome back to your bio class. Now we are going to discuss the next chapter, skeleton, movement and locomotion. In the last video I explained you about the joints and I told you that the beginning of the lesson we will carry forward next time. So here we are starting with this chapter. So now you know that movement and locomotion, the animals are characterized by they have a special feature that they can move their body parts and they can also move their entire body from one place to another, which is called locomotion. So for both these movement and locomotion, we need muscles and bones. This is possible because of the bones and muscles, or we can say that because we have a skeleton which enables us, which provides us a proper shape as well as helps us in movement and locomotion. So the first topic of the chapter is functions of human skeleton. So what are the functions of skeleton? As you know that the skeleton serves many functions, mainly support and shape. First one is support and shape. Skeleton provides a framework to all the body structure, soft parts, and gives us a definite shape. And imagine, he says that if you do not have small pieces of bones in your fingers, would you be able to hold a pen? No, not at all. Right? Then second function is protection. So you have read earlier also that our skeleton system provides protection to the delicate organs. For example, your heart and your lungs, the delicate organs are well protected by rib cage. Similarly, your brain is well protected by skull, and your backbone, that is the spinal cord, is protected by the backbone, which you call vertebral column. Then skeleton also helps in movement. So many bones are joined to each other in the manner that one bone can move on another. For example, in your shoulder, like we have studied the joints in the topic, I explained that in shoulder girdle allows full movement, and similarly hinge joints means the bones, they help in movement of your body parts. Then leverage. Here leverage refers to again the movement itself, means that some bones and joints, they form levers. What are levers? Actually you have studied levers in junior classes. Lever is something, a type of machine which makes your work easier. So similarly these bones, they allow your movement which becomes easy, otherwise the movement will not be possible. For example, the slight contraction of your biceps, when your biceps contract, you are able to lift your arm. Similarly, the joints, the elbow joints, the joints in your ankles, you are able to lift up your feet and you can stand on your toes for some time. You can perform various poses of yoga or exercise. These are all because of your bones, and these bones act like levers which allow free movements. Okay. Then formation of blood cells, and this also you have studied that the large and the long bones, they contain bone marrow, the cavity inside the bones which is called bone marrow, and this bone marrow produces blood cells including red blood cells and white blood cells. So we can say that helps in formation of blood cells. Then the bones are the storehouse of calcium and phosphorus for the rest of the body. Now constituents of skeleton means, what is the skeleton made up of? Skeleton is made up of three things: bones, mainly bones, and apart from bones we also have cartilage. You know that your ears and your nose is made up of cartilage, and many other structures in the body, they are made up of cartilage. Cartilage is a supporting tissue. It is a hard, rigid, at the same time flexible tissue. Then ligaments, and you also know that ligaments are the connective tissue which joins bone with the bone. So you can say that bones, cartilage and ligaments, they constitute your skeleton system. But out of the chief components, means bones, cartilage and ligaments, bone is the main component, and it consists of organic and inorganic matter. Now, what is bone made up of? Bone consists of organic matter and inorganic matter. The inorganic matter, it is 2/3 of the entire bone structure, and it is basically, you all know that bones contain calcium and phosphorus. So please underline and note down that inorganic matter constitutes calcium and phosphorus. And if you place a bone in HCl, hydrochloric acid, weak hydrochloric acid, dilute HCl, then these calcium and phosphorus will get dissolved. Means you have removed the inorganic matter. So if you have removed the inorganic matter from a bone, then that bone is called decalcified, means calcium removed. So a bone from where calcium is removed or inorganic matter is removed, such a bone is called decalcified bone. And then that bone will become very soft, because now the inorganic matter which provides rigidity is removed, and what is left behind is only organic matter. So such a bone will become soft and flexible, and it can even be tied into a knot, means it will become very soft. On the other hand, if the bone is strongly heated strongly, then what will happen? Then its organic part will be destroyed. It will turn into it will be oxidized, and the only part which will left, so you know that calcium and phosphorus will be left after burning, it will convert into ash, and such a bone will become brittle and it will quickly break. So with age, in old people, what happens, that organic part of the bone is reduced, and that is why their bones become fragile, means their bones become weak, and they take much time in rejoining. So that's why you might have heard that in old age, if there is a fracture, or then that does not join very fast, or it becomes a big problem for them, for the older people. Then the next is classification of bone on the basis of shape. Now if we consider the shape of the bones, then we can say that bones are of 4 types. Here they have given in the table the 4 types of bones: long bones, short bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. These names are based on the shape, their shape. Now long bones consist of a shaft. There means this is the structure of a long bone, and if you see in the skeleton, then these are your long bones, the bones of your arms and the legs. These are the long bones. They normally contain bone marrow, and they produce blood cells also. Okay, they are filled with yellow marrow or the red marrow, we say. For example, bones of arms, legs, and chest. Then second type is short bones. Short bones, they are box like, and they show little movement. For example, the bones of your wrist, here these are short bones, the wrist, and similarly in your ankles. Then flat bones. Flat bones means the bones, they are just like parallel plates, just like plates. For example, here you can understand this. If you see this bones in your skeleton, sternum, this will be referred as flat bone, and similarly the bones of the skull are called flat bones. Okay, and then irregular bones. Irregular bones, they have irregular shape, complex shape, and they vary in amount of the bone tissue, and the example is facial bones and the vertebral bones. So like vertebral bones, you can see here, what shape would you think these bones have? These are irregular bones. So from here you can say these are the long bones, and these are the short bones. Then this sternum, breastbone is, or skull, flat bones, and the bones of the vertebrae, they will be irregular bones. So according to the shape, these are the 4 categories. Now let us study the structure of the bone. The structure of a typical long bone, it is highly calcified, means mineralized, means it contains lot of calcium and phosphorus, and it can withstand severe stress, means it is very rigid, very tough, and it consists of bone cells. All of you know what are bone cells called? Osteocytes, and they are arranged in the form of concentric rings. You have read in chapter number 2, in the chapter of tissue, we have studied the transverse section of bone. And here you can see, this is the structure of a long bone. Here on the sides we have red bone marrow, spongy bone with red marrow, and in the center we have fatty yellow marrow. Both these marrow, they produce, red bone marrow produces red blood cells, and yellow marrow produces white blood cells. Okay, and there is a cytoplasm which we say as ground matrix. We call it as ground matrix, in which collagen fibers, the protein fibers are present, as well as the mineral salts, calcium and phosphorus are deposited. External surface of bone is covered by membrane called periosteum, which consists of outer fibrous and inner cellular layers. And these cellular layers means the cells inside the osteocytes, they are richly supplied with blood vessels. And long bone has marrow, the cavity. You will say, what is bone marrow? It is the hollow cavity in the middle which is filled with bone marrow. And this marrow is of two types: yellow marrow, made up of adipose tissue, means fatty cells and blood vessels, and it forms white blood cells, and red marrow, which is present at the ends and produces red blood cells. So from here also you can understand, at the sides we have red bone marrow, it produces red blood cells, and in towards the center you have yellow marrow, which is composed of adipose tissue, and it gives rise to white blood cells. So this question can come, what produces white blood cells? You have to write yellow marrow, and red blood cells, red bone marrow. Okay, so let us go through the progress check. Fill in the blanks. Our skeleton consists of bones, cartilage and ligament. Dash is the chief component of skeleton: bone. Shape wise, the bones can be classified as long bones, short bones, flat bones and irregular bones. The central hollow part of the long bone is known as yellow marrow, and a bone becomes soft and flexible when it is placed in dilute hydrochloric acid. So study till here. In the next video we will discuss about the next topic. Thank you.